boys and girls. I wanted to do one last thing with Easter. Since you're not going to be here before Easter, I want to do our resurrection eggs. Okay? Now, I'm going to be asking questions to see if you remember the story. So, the first egg I'm going to pick is blue. All right? Now, I'm going to open it up, and it's got a little donkey. Do you remember the story of Easter? And before the Passover, Jesus asked the disciples to go get a little donkey? Well, there he is. All right. And he said to tell the owner that the master needs him. And so, when they got there, it was just like he said. And he was like, okay. So he let him go. And what did they do? Jesus got on that donkey and he rode it into the village while the people were saying Hosanna and waving palm leaves, and they were throwing their coats down. All right, I'm going to pick the pink egg now, and it's going to remind us of something else. What does that sound like? Coins. Now, what do we know about coins and a disciple named Judas? Judas betrayed Jesus. He turned him over because he really didn't love Jesus. He wanted money. So they offered him money to show them which one was Jesus. And he took it. And he betrayed Jesus while Jesus was praying in the garden. Now the next thing I want you to see is it's a cup. Remember what Jesus, before he went into the garden and got taken by the soldiers, they had a Passover meal. And he took some bread and he handed it to his disciples and he said, eat this. This is my body that's broken for you. Well, they didn't know what he meant, but his body was about to be broken and his blood was about to be spilled. And he took a cup and he poured some juice in it, some grape juice or wine, and he said, drink it, it's my blood. Well, it wasn't really his blood, but what he meant was, my blood is the thing that's going to save you. Like the blood over the doorpost of your heart, it's going to save you, so take it. And then, now I'm going to open this orange thing up, and it reminds us that we always need to pray. And what did Jesus do before he was crucified? He was in the garden praying. That's how important. If Jesus is God's son and he created everything and it's important for him to pray, how much more is it important for us to pray? Okay? So they won't stand up, but there's the praying hands. All right? Put that one back. Now the next color is green. And in this green egg is a leather strap. Now it's really tiny. The one that they used on Jesus was probably this long, and it had all kinds of sharp stuff. And when they would go, they would whip him like with a belt. I used to get whipped with a belt. It is not fun. But anyways, they would have that stuff that would rip his flesh as they went. So that reminds us that Jesus was beaten and his blood was shed for us. Now I'm going to take this yellow egg. Remember when they put him on the cross? They put that crown on his head and they squished it down into his brains, and he started bleeding because it had thorns all the way around. There's the crown. Now I'm going to take this yellow egg. This doesn't look like a nail that you and I know, and I meant to bring my big spike. I've got a big spike, but big spikes look like this, but they're about this big. Some of them are longer. And that's what was in Jesus' hands and in his leg. All right. Now, the last Easter egg, the resurrection egg, is light blue. And it doesn't sound like anything's in there. Let's open it and see. There's nothing in there. What in the Easter story does that remind us of? It reminds us that when those women went to the tomb and the disciples went to the tomb, there was nothing in there. Jesus had risen from the dead. His body was gone, just like he said. He was going to die, and then 3 days later, he was going to be raised again. So this egg reminds us that Jesus is not here. He is risen, and he's in heaven waiting for you. You guys have a great Easter, and I love you. Talk to you later.